Relatively straightforward episode. We have been saying for years, before Biden was officially elected, that Biden is another shade of Trump, that America's a racist country, that America chose Trump because they're racist, that basically Trump won the popular vote in 2016, except for California, which means outside of California, over half of your fellow Americans like Donald Trump. That when Donald Trump went against Joseph Biden in the 2020 election, Biden won by 52%, which is barely over half, still showing a lot of people like Trump. And we were told, Biden is the decent version of America. He's not like Trump. And we want to argue America's screwed because Biden is just as bad as Trump. We've been saying that here at CalExit. Biden is just as bad as Trump because he reflects America's values. The things that Trump said were popular in America, Joe Biden does the same things. For example, Donald Trump said building the border wall is racist. Joe Biden is completing the border wall. You'll see his staff say, oh, we're not building the border wall. We're completing what was not done before. That's building the border wall. They're doing it, even though they said it was horrible. They also keep Latin kids in cages, which they said was horrible, but they're doing it. They also banned refugees coming in, which Trump did, which they said is horrible, but they did it. They also kept the trade war on China going, which Trump did, and we were told was racist, but they're continuing the same thing. So what's the difference? You ban refugees, you insult Latin people, you keep Latin people cages, you keep building the wall. How are you that different from Donald Trump? That's the question. So into that, I present this. 1 second.
If you could remove one state.
Sorry, 1 second. We're getting queued up.
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics.
Joe shows
make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do. This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me?
Yeah, so
minority white.
This country is doomed because by 2040, it's going to be minority white. And it's doomed because of African Americans. Yes, he said that. Let me show you something else. Just so that you're not totally confused, let me show you this too. And this is something that liberals will not acknowledge. Democrats, once outraged, take a quieter approach to migrant children, Latin kids in camps. Democrats cared when Trump was around. Now Democrats don't really say a lot, including Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Javier Becerra and Mayorkas. Mayorkas is from California. Becerra is from California. Harris is from California. Pelosi's from California. None of them said anything about Joe Biden keeping up the Latin kids in cages policy or criticized it at all. So how are they better than Trump? So Donald Trump says black people are a problem. Joe Biden says black people are a problem. Donald Trump talks about how white people are losing out. Joe Biden says it's a disaster that America is going to be a minority white place. Donald Trump builds the wall. Joe Biden builds the wall. Donald Trump bans refugees. Joe Biden bans refugees. Donald Trump puts Latin kids in cages. Joe Biden puts Latin kids in cages. This is America. This is who we are as Americans. We don't like immigrants. We're xenophobic, and we don't like Latinos and foreigners. You have two presidents continuing the same policies. One Republican, one Democrat. They're supposed to be completely different from each other. People are following them both in a straight line of continuity. That shows that this is America. This is what America's about. And these are values completely anathema to California. As the California legislature said in 2016, when Donald Trump was elected, we woke up as if in a foreign country today. That was a joint declaration by the California legislature in November 2016. It is still true today. locking up children in cages, banning refugees, building walls, insulting minorities, fearing a future where whites are the minority is all racist stuff you'll never find in California. And it's all stuff that Donald Trump and Joe Biden have done. Just showed you. So that's real America. And if you want to be part of it, great. But if you're starting to recognize that real America is completely out of line with what we think is valuable here in California, well, then you're ready to become a CalExit supporter. As we like to say now, as our CEO, Jason Wright, has reminded us, are you ready to CalExit yet?